I'm going to use my cell phone and these microphones to record a piece of content while sitting on the couch. Then I'm going to pull it into TikTok and I'm going to edit it. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it, adding B-roll and all the transitions and text and captions and all the good things. And then we're going to post it. We're going to create a text hook, a visual hook, and an audio hook. This is what we need right here, our wire and our mic. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to grab the receiver out and the microphone out. We don't want noise canceling. I found that the built-in noise canceling on the microphones just doesn't work that well, so I try not to use it. We're going to take the receiver and plug it into the bottom of the phone. You know what? Let's just go ahead and clip it to ourselves. I'll make it easy so I don't have to hold it. So I'll be wearing 2 microphones in the video, but you know what? I don't really care. Okay, we're set up for audio. Now we need to record the video. I'm simply going to look over here at my laptop that has the actual content calendar on it. This way, it'll make recording just a little bit easier. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna record a video for a previous version of me. The version of me that didn't know how to get started. I'm just gonna rapid fire talking about the calendar. So my eyes are lined up right here in the top thirds, and I'm right in the middle of the frame. I've got some interesting stuff behind me. Let's get into it. It all starts on Monday after the gym. As soon as I get back, I document my KPIs. What I've done is I've screen recorded my entire editing process on the TikTok app. So I've recorded the video on my phone, uploaded it to TikTok, and I've done all of the editing from that spot directly. I'm going to show you my process and talk through it so you can understand how I do things so that it can hopefully give you a leg up and make it a little bit easier for you. So first, let me play the video so you can see what we've created here. As soon as I get back, I document my KPIs. Then I look at the videos we've had and I save the best performers. Then I can jump into administrative work and then I'm going to post. And I can't eat lunch until that's done. When I'm done with that, I check the status of our ads and I turn off any low performers. Then I can jump into meetings for the rest of the day. After dinner, I've got some free time, but before I go to bed, I've got to respond to all the comments, respond to all the DMs, and watch some popular videos in my industry. Tuesday's a little bit easier. Gym, and then we edit. Then I get lunch while I record some more B-roll and then go right into skills training. I do this same thing on Wednesday and Thursday. Friday's where things get a little bit different. As soon as I get back from the gym, I start batch recording. I don't take meetings on Fridays. So at the end of the day, I'm looking at all the ads that we've created and I'm grabbing a couple to edit some variations of so I can repost them next week. Saturday is a free day, but I try and get as much filming done as I possibly can. The only non-negotiables every single day is responding to comments and responding to DMs. Those are your customers. Those are people that want to connect with you. I know this isn't going to be possible for everybody, but this is how I would split it up if I had no rules, no obligations, no family, had nothing else to do but be successful selling my product to people on the internet. I help people that sell products make $1 million a year, and this is just a tiny piece of one of the lessons that I've created for the content creation portion of what I teach. If you want to learn more about this, DM 411. So the first thing I want you to notice is the rule of thirds. Look at the rule of thirds. Look at my eyes. They're right on this top third line. That's why this rule of thirds is so important. This is framing it correctly. There's also a yellow line right in the middle, and this is the level. We turned this on in the settings section when we were going over our iPhone settings. This helps us make sure that everything's level and not all cattywampus. It helps us frame the shot better. It looks so much better when you have this on the top thirds. So we've done the editing, and then we're going to go into TikTok. As soon as we get into TikTok, we're going to post a new video. And then we're going to select the clips that we've recorded. You can see there's about 4 minutes of footage for the original one, and then I did a few variations of the call to action. So I'm loading in both pieces of content to edit them down to less than 1.5 minutes. This is the next screen that you'll end up on. It will just automatically start playing the video. But what we want to do is we want to go to edit. So see right up here, this little button. This is what you want to click on to be able to have access to what you're about to see next. This is what the editor looks like. What I'm doing here is I'm watching the video and I'm making cuts. So you can see all these little things that pop up here, these little lines. That's when I add a cut. Now I'm not removing anything. I'm not deleting anything. I'm simply cutting the footage into different chunks so I can go back when I'm all done and edit that down and shrink these clips. So what I do is I go through the entire video. I watch it and I make cuts. And then I start clipping things out by dragging the edges. Right here, I can click on this and I can drag it and slide it, and it will clip off the ends of the video. That's my goal, is to rough cut. And this is what the rough cutting process looks like. Getting the raw footage down to the most bare essential A-roll, or the speaking footage. So after I've done it once, I go back and I do it again, and you can see that as time goes on, this number is dropping and dropping and dropping. In order for it to be short form content, it needs to be 60 seconds to 90 seconds. It can definitely be less, but I'm trying to keep it under 90 seconds.
Learning how to edit and create content on TikTok is great and all, but if you're not running a business or selling a product, you're leaving money on the table. And the cool thing is that the only thing you really need to separate yourself from the business is a business bank account. And you can get one using Relay. They're the business bank account that I use. They're really easy, really simple. They're designed for small business owners like us, and they've got an awesome team. Not only that, but they have all the bells and whistles that the big banks have, like wire transfers, mobile deposits, checks, and ACH. So if you need a business bank account to operate your business effectively on TikTok, click the link below and give Relay a try. I promise you won't be disappointed. That's why I use them.
Okay, so we've gotten it chopped down. Now I need to start adding in content to make it look a little bit better. I need to start spicing it up a little bit. So what I've done is I've pulled the picture of the content schedule that I'm talking about in this content, and I am going to start clipping and cropping different days out of the schedule. So I know that I need every single day cropped on its own. I need the times, and then I need an overall picture. This way I can put it up on the screen and I can show people what we're talking about. And you can see here, I'm just taking it and I'm overlaying it. I'm clicking the embed or overlay button. And what that does is it gives me an option to go into my camera roll and put something on top, whether it's a video, a picture, a GIF, anything. You can put anything on top. And so I'm putting pictures on top to show what I'm talking about. Once the picture's loaded on top, then I rearrange it and I choose the duration for how long it's going to be there. And then I put it in the right spot. So I'm like, okay, cool, this works. But I need to cut my footage down even more. I need to get this less than 1.5 minutes. And so that's what I'm doing right here. I'm cutting out all the parts that aren't absolutely necessary so we can get the entire length of this clip less than 1.5 minutes. And there we have it. We've gotten it down to about 1:26 from 5 total minutes. Now we can start adding in the content to make stuff look really cool. If you spend the extra time on this, I promise it's worth it. It's so much better to show than it is to tell. And so you can see me overlaying all these different images, mainly of the weekly content schedule, and arranging them in a pleasing way next to my face. Now, one of the things you'll notice here is that you'll see an emoji finger. Ideally, I would have a red box, but I don't have that feature in this editor. So I was like, you know what? I'll just use an emoji finger. That way, when I'm talking about stuff, I can move the finger and I can point at exactly what I'm talking about. You'd be surprised. Never underestimate the power of convenience. Now, right here, you'll see a screenshot of our Facebook ads dashboard. What we've done is we put a red box around the focal point of this image so that when we overlay it, the viewer will know exactly where to look. This is just another piece of supporting documentation that we're adding into the video to make it look nice. So we'll keep doing that as I go through each scene. I'm like, okay, what do I need to show them? Each section in the video, like every time I change a sentence, every time I'm talking about something new, I want to show them something new. Every 1 to 3 seconds, I pull a new thing and point to it to keep the viewer interested and engaged. This is the secret to making good content. You have compelling A-roll and the message is good, but visually it's also stimulating and it also helps them learn something and it entertains them. So you can see here that I'm just taking variations of all these different images of the calendar that we've cropped, and I'm just laying them out. It's very tedious work, I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot of effort with your thumbs. So we're getting through the video now. We're at about 50 seconds or so, and we're halfway done. You can see the purple is where I'm moving the emoji of the finger pointing. Here you'll see something interesting happen. And boom, right there. Do you see this? You see how I zoomed in on my eyes? This is called a jump cut. When I don't have anything to show and I really want to emphasize the point that I'm speaking, I'll take my face and I'll zoom in on. I'll create like 2 or 3 different scenes, right? I'll cut it and then I'll zoom in on my face on each emphasis. So that way it's like boom, 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 and it gets closer, closer, closer. This is a great way to drive a point home. Now we're at about 57 seconds and I'm continuing to edit. I'm continuing to overlay things. I'm continuing to rewatch it, make sure that everything makes sense. Everything is clear. We're just really trying to get the meat and potatoes of all this stuff built out. Now, right here, this is the end of the video. This is where I put the call to action, DM or comment 411. This is the thing that I want the viewer to do. So that's what you see here. I'm arranging it so it looks nicely, and then I'm going back and adding in now all my jump cuts. So we've got the images overlaid. We have it rough cut. We have the little emojis to point to everything. We've got, the images and supporting documentation in there. And now I'm going through and doing the jump cuts and zooming in. Now, there were a few other images that I could put in to support the story I'm telling and the message I'm trying to get across. So I went ahead and did that. Now, this is where I am working on the text hook. Now remember, we've talked about this. What does every video need in the very beginning? A visual, a text, and an auditory hook. The audio hook is me speaking, saying the words, just getting right into it. The visual hook is the picture of the calendar because it's interesting. And then the text hook is the words that they are reading as soon as they see the content. This is what I'm working on now. The text hook is also known as your title. I'm going to put one in the first second or two, and then a second thing to read in the next couple of seconds. You'll notice something different. You'll see captions now. What I've done is added in text captions. I want to give the viewer something to listen to, and I also want to give them something to read. But with TikTok's editor, you're kind of limited in where you can put those captions. So I've had to kind of rearrange some of the images to better fit. I want it to be readable. I want it to be legible. I don't want it to cover up any important information. So now I'm arranging all of the elements now that I have them on the screen. I'm basically going through the video, looking at all the different aspects and things that we've overlaid and putting them in the right order so that they don't cannibalize each other. I want it to look nice and balanced and polished. So we're doing that now. You can see we're almost done. We're making some great progress on this. So now that I'm rewatching it, I'm going back and I'm like, okay, we need a few adjustments to the title. We need a few adjustments to the hook. It could be better. Let me make sure this is working properly. After I've watched it through and I've given it the stamp of approval, I hit this save button down here in the bottom right. This save button will put it onto your phone without any of the TikTok watermarks. This way you can repurpose it for YouTube or Instagram without having that annoying TikTok watermark. This is a slept-on secret right here. Okay, the final video is complete. Now I need to write the description. The description is the text that you write on your post. When they click on it, they can see it. You know what it is. So this is how I do it. I just kind of like write everything out. I try to give as much value as I possibly can. We don't need to use clickbait or crazy words or anything. We just need to be honest and real and thoughtful about what we're including. This is the final product right here. This is how I edit on TikTok. Now, your edits don't have to be as complicated. You don't have to overlay as much. The point of this video was to show you what you're capable of with just an app. Now, the editors are pretty much the same on TikTok and Instagram, so feel free to use whichever one you like. If you want something a little bit more robust that's not on the app itself, you can use Video Shop or CapCut. They're both decent editors. But the big takeaway here is that you can make just about anything with your thumbs. Because I spend so much time working with editors and editing on the computer, I'm not as fast as I could be, but it is absolutely possible. So I would encourage you to experiment editing with your thumbs and editing on the computer and working with other editors only after you've learned how to do it. This way you can understand what we are capable of, what's possible, and how difficult it really is. It will help you become a better creator if you know this process. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to edit a video on your computer using Descript, which is a completely different way of approaching it. But hopefully with these two different methodologies in front of you, you'll be able to make the best decision for your brand. Because after all, we've got to edit. We've got to create the content. We have to make it as good as it can possibly be, because if you put more effort in here and your creative is better, you will get more attention. And if you get more attention, you'll be able to sell more product. And that's why we're doing this in the first place. Thanks for watching.